Girls were chasing limousines, going topless and putting themselves on your limousine window as you're trying to drive to the hotel.
There's a whole conversation about turning down the $2 million. Mm-hmm. That's a whole lot of money, Jason.
To me, that's just regular business. Oh, you about to get my face sliced. Nah,
Very
you are
diplomatic.
not about to have me getting $1.50 on my face when I go home.
Would you say you're a smart guy?
You know what? I will give myself a little bit of credit here.
Okay.
I think when it comes to certain aspects of life with business and when it comes to my ability as a performer, I think I'm highly intelligent in that regard. But when it just comes to life in general and being a human being, I make some silly mistakes at times.
We all have our moments.
We definitely all have our moments. But when looking back in retrospect, you'll be like, why'd you do that?
Like, damn,
you know what I mean?
it had to go
that
down
was
like
stupid.
that.
But no, overall, I'd say that I've been blessed with intelligence, and I inherited that from my mother and from my father, and just coming from a great family. Like, we some pretty smart cookies.
Did you ever get grounded from like red carpet events when you were younger?
No.
There was never a moment you're like, oh, Jason, you're not going to BET.
When it came to stuff like that, my mother knew the importance of allowing me to experience those things. And so that would give you an opportunity to meet actors and directors and writers that you probably normally wouldn't have the opportunity to build with. Because I wasn't a bad kid like that either. I honestly have to say that. I didn't get grounded too many times. I got a couple whoopings. Yeah. Every once in a while, I had to get a pop in the mouth, just to be reminded of the fact that, she's the mother, I'm the kid, adult child. Exactly. I always, whenever I would offer any kind of rebuttal that could be defined as disrespectful, I always felt I was coming from a way of just trying to speak my truth. But, nobody wants to hear you speak your truth at 13, 14 years old.
Your mom has been like a really big part of your career.
Yeah.
There's the whole conversation about turning down the $2 million. Mm-hmm. That's a whole lot of money, Jason.
To me, that's just regular business. When my family and I, when we all gather together, a lot of times we're discussing business, while enjoying each other's company. Mm-hmm. But I didn't realize that there were a lot of people who didn't understand the art of negotiation. That was something that was taught to me at a very, very early age from my mother and from the representatives that managed me at that time, Suzanne DePass and Tony Patillo. I had all of these very intelligent and business-savvy Black women around me who poured a lot into me and really showed me a lot of different things about the industry, how to not only stay relevant in it, but how to make the industry ultimately work for you. So many artists and creatives over the years have been taken advantage of, and that really applies to a lot of, Black artists and Black creatives. So I'm glad and I'm blessed that I was used as the vessel to, I guess, share that information.
What's the craziest fan experience you've had?
When girls were chasing limousines back then.
Oh yeah.
Trying to break in backstage. So I dealt with all that, girls going topless and putting themselves on your limousine window as you're trying to drive to the hotel. Mob scenes in malls. I'll never forget my childhood best friend, Alfred McGee, AKA Boog. What's up, Boog? We get on our bikes and we roll to the mall, like how we usually do, because that's where we would hang out. And man, we walked in that mall and they went, excuse my language, they went ape shit crazy, to the point it was people jumping over counters, full on bum rushing us. And when I first saw this group of people heading our way, I was looking backwards to see who it was they were coming to, who they were going crazy over. I was like, well, what's going on? Who's up in here? I'm thinking there's somebody in here. We had to be escorted up out of the mall by security because they were afraid that people were gonna follow us home. It was that crazy.
Do you feel like The Chi is a real accurate depiction of life in Chicago, since you're from there?
I'm gonna keep it real with you, and Lena and I have talked about this. I think the first couple of seasons on the show more or less represented, I think, what the network wanted to present at that time, which was just a solid show with good writing and great acting that you can place in any city if you want to.
Right.
By the time the third and the fourth season came and they really began to trust Lena more, that's when you began to see more of the real Chicago shine, even on down to the actors that were being recruited, including myself. Because Chicago's a very unique place. We have our own little energy, we have our own little vibe, we have our own little accents. Our food spots, whether it be Harold's Chicken or Doc's or Italian Fiesta pizza. Like all of those things now are being brought into the show, and I think that's what's helped to make it more authentic. I grew up in a suburb of Chicago, and going to school, it was cool.
Were people kind of like fanned out?
I noticed that the kids that grew up with me throughout middle school and grade school, they were all very comfortable with me and, you know, who I am and what I do. But it was kids from neighboring communities who we were going to high school with.
They'll get excited.
Yeah, they would either get starstruck or like you get a couple dudes every now and then and be a little jealous because they, you know, they little girlfriend may like you or something. But for the most part, many people from back home let me know they're very proud and pleased as to what I've been able to do in my life and my career.
Speaking of like a little jealousy, you know, with relationships and stuff, have you ever had any love ambitions that just didn't work out?
Oh, plenty.
Yeah.
When I go into a production, I dive in head first. And I just completely immerse myself in that experience that I'm having. And to some degree, my personal life, especially in the past, took a hit because I hadn't found balance yet.
I was gonna say, is there balance? Like,
Yeah.
should we be looking for balance?
I don't think we necessarily get it right until we transition up out of here.
What is your I knew I was famous moment?
Being recognized by other peers and colleagues in the industry that I admire, that I've been watching over the years, who have inspired me, who have come up to me and been like, hey, you're pretty good. Like, I like your work. Like, I don't take it to heart like that, and I don't let it go to my head. I think it's just more of a confidence booster and letting you know that you belong.
You've done a lot of iconic shit.
I'm blessed. Well, thank you for saying that.
What do you feel like is your most iconic, though?
It's probably anywhere between the Jacksons miniseries and The Lion King. Like, both of those projects, they transcend past race, culture, class, you know, religion, all that. Everybody loves The Lion King. You know, it's a universal story.
Which was the most fun?
The most fun I've had on projects is either between Drumline or ATL. And the reason why I'd say those two films is because we shot those two films during a time when Atlanta was really, really like bursting out as far as being a place for film. This was already like a cultural epicenter for music, for Black music. Both Drumline and ATL were films that Dallas Austin executive produced and created. So it was a beautiful gumbo of brilliant young Black people coming together to tell these beautiful Black stories.
If you were creating a group of super sitcoms, who'd be in your Jackson 5?
People may not want to hear this because there's so much, you know, circulating around his name as of recently, but The Cosby Show to me will always go down as one of the all-time greats.
Fair.
It was an amazing show.
Yes.
And what it represented at the time. Seinfeld. Martin, for sure. Number 4, and I'm not just saying this because this is my guy, but I actually, I study this show for how dope I personally think it is, but I'm a huge fan of the Jamie Foxx show. One of the last ones, and this, I know this is probably really old for you, but Cheers.
I don't think I've heard of this.
For somebody that came from sitcom TV and understands the pacing of it, that's a very complicated show to produce and to write and direct. And seeing how that show was put together, it was absolutely brilliant.
I'll have to check Cheers out.
Please do.
You're on The Chi.
Yes.
And you also did ATL.
Yes.
We're gonna do a little comparison.
Okay.
Chicago pizza or Atlanta wings?
Oh!
I have my opinion on Atlanta wings.
Man, I'm a connoisseur for them Atlanta wings from American Deli, them JR Crickets. Oh, you playing with my emotions, Smokey. But just because it's the crib, I'm gonna say Chicago pizza for sure.
Okay.
Yes.
The Cubs or the Braves?
Go Cubs, go fly the W.
Who has the better nightlife?
Atlanta. Man, I love partying with our people. It's a beautiful thing to see down here.
So would you say ATL has better women?
Oh, don't. You about to get my face sliced. Let me say this like this. Both cities have amazing women.
There we go. That was a great answer.
Have amazing women.
Very
you are
diplomatic.
not about to have me getting $1.50 on my face when I go home.
We'll tone it down. Who has better service?
Chicago.
Definitely.
I gotta give it. First thing I don't like about this customer service here in Atlanta, that 20% gratuity that y'all keep adding on to bills and shit.
So bad.
With a messed up attitude? Nah, I'm good.
Who has worse traffic?
Atlanta. You just got the 75, 85, the 75, and the 85, and the 400, and the 285. And all of those at any given time can be congested. I dealt with traffic coming here in the middle of the day, and I live, 10 minutes away from here.
project-wise, The Shy or ATL?
I'm gonna have to say The Shy. I'm proud to represent where I'm from. Everything that you see in mainstream media and the news and national news, it always depicts our communities as just being like the wild, wild west. But that's not everybody's reality. That wasn't my reality growing up. I grew up going to Harold's. I grew up going to high school, going to little house parties in Chicago, house music being played in the basement, and all of us are doing the percolator. I grew up going to Bulls games and seeing Michael Jordan reign and dominate throughout the 90s. So to be able to be a part of something like that and to have a direct connection to it is both rewarding professionally as well as personally.
What's something that you would tell young Jason just getting into the industry?
Man, just pay attention to your journey. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing because everybody's on the same journey. We all just want to be successful and to accomplish our dreams and live out our purpose. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing and trust God.
I love that. Jason Weaver, thanks for pulling up.
Thank you, Logan. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me and creating an environment that made me feel comfortable enough to share. So thank you.
I love that. That's about to be my new ringtone.
Okay. All right, perfect. All right, cool. Check, 1, 2, 1, 2. Ready there, Scorsese?
Right.
All right.
Okay.
Y'all, something else. My eye has been twitching
That's really?
for days.
We should do a super cut where we zoom in and just.
Just like, it's just crazy. He said, that's all right.